Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Zach here, bringing you a Fear the Walking Dead video. So spoiler warning, if you guys haven't seen Season 7 episode 6 named Reclamation of Fear the Walking Dead, it's out early on Disney+. And I also want to take a quick moment. Thank you guys. I've recently hit 50 subscribers on the channel this week. And like I said in my Walking Dead World Beyond video, I never expected it to be doing as well as it's doing this early. So thank you guys. I'm really grateful for that. And if you guys have seen more than one video and aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Anyways, yeah, let's jump into it. So this episode was by far the best episode of the season so far. Featured kind of everything you want: action, CRM, Morgan, Grace, Althea. I mean, Althea's been a great addition to the show since Morgan was brought on in season 4 and Grace shortly after, about a season later. But yeah, we all know that Althea's had this little tie with Isabel from the CRM, and we were really curious on why the CRM was willing to help these guys escape the nuke. And what we come to find out in this episode, that wasn't exactly how it worked out. It starts out with Althea's separated from the group. Apparently, the rest of the group joined Morgan at the submarine rather than at that base that they were at. And Morgan's back at the MRAP, or not Morgan, Althea is back at the MRAP, and she's kind of wandering away. And Morgan ends up at it looking for Al. Grace and Morgan are looking for her. Everyone else is back at the submarine. And what else we find out is the CRM is sending a reclamation team, which was teased back when Isabel was in that episode that when we're introduced to her. And basically, there's a force to not be reckoned with. They're there to destroy any evidence that they were there, and so that's why they're really something you don't want to mess with. And what ends up coming out is Morgan's at the truck, and the CRM is on the way there, and I don't even. Maybe I didn't realize it, but I don't even know if they reference the helicopter people as a CRM in Fear, but they might not know unless Althea might, looking at the documents and stuff, because it says CRM on them. But Morgan ends up hiding like in the truck, and like Althea gets there while they're searching the truck and gets under it, and they end up going away like looking, tracking stuff. They leave the helicopter there, and Morgan and Althea are reintroduced, and like he wants answers, but she wants to keep going and get away from the reclamation team, which they end up like finding them. And they have to like escape under this bridge through some cars. They're being sniped at, but apparently not great aim because they can't get them. And Grace pulls up in the hoopty. They get out of there. And what we end up finding out, like Al, like we keep seeing these little flashbacks to when Isabel was recording Al, and where they met up was at that base where these guys were staying. And yeah, so like you keep getting these little flashbacks that are kind of confusing, but basically they they want to get the MRAP, and well, Althea wants to kill these people. Long story short, and Morgan ends up helping them. Well, Althea deceives Morgan and Grace, coming up with this plan to get the gas, and they all have bullets, and they can use the MRAP to kill them. And she's like, "No, it has gas. I know they don't have bullets in there, but you guys need to go." And basically, they get in the MRAP, and the helicopter's chasing them. In the meantime, Althea's setting up this trap with the cannon, and she practices with the zombie, like what she's gonna say, and then has the fuse going, and she like ducks right at the right time, and the freaking cannon just takes the walker's feet out. But at that moment, she's like, "Well, you helped me learn something. I need to use shrapnel." And so she ends up like loading a bunch of different rocks in it, so like it's like a bird shot type deal, which could be more dangerous because even if you duck down like that, something could stray down and hit you on the ground. But I mean, seemed like in most of this episode, Althea was willing to sacrifice herself for Morgan and Grace because it's it's really weird. But so, and we also get this little flashback to the when Isabel's recording the video of Althea, one of the warheads is going off. So that's pretty much when Isabel takes off to go save these guys. And we also see the flashback of her giving Daniel the coordinates where that he ended up getting off, like he ended up getting where they had to meet so that they could get out of there. And so basically, um, with the this with the Althea's, like at one point, them guys are under the CRM shoes. Like this was super. Like one of the guys was like literally staring off while Morgan was holding one at the gunpoint, like wasn't doing anything. Like I was like, what the hell? But like CRM or the CRM have them pinned down, and Althea tries making a deal with them, but they won't say that they're gonna actually spare them, like give them the word. And they're about to fire, and Morgan like gets one of them struggling. Althea kick or Grace kicks their leg, and they get out, and Morgan's holding the other one at gunpoint, and something or another ends up happening where they're separated enough where Grace was able to hop in the MRAP and like almost run one of them over. And Morgan hopped up in there and they got away. Well, it's pretty soon, I don't know how much gas was left in the helicopter. And basically they end up chasing down the MRAP, but what they end up doing is cutting them off and getting to the coordinates faster. Well, Althea's ready to face him. She's setting up her trap with the fuse and all that. Well, then the MRAP pulls up and he hops in, or she hops in, and she's like, "All right, when I say pop or drive," well, a walker ends up like there's a really long fuse. A walker ends up detaching it. So Morgan goes out there, um gets ready to fire it. Althea hops in the driver's seats, keeping them busy, and uses the guns from the MRAP as a distraction. They have no bullets in them, and trying to keep them at bay. And then eventually it's the time and she pulls away, or she goes outside with the tape as a distraction. Grace hops in the driver's seat and like Al gives the message. She gets down, Grace moves, Morgan fires, and it completely obliterates them soldiers. So they end up escaping the wrath of that. But what's really cool is there's definitely a callback to season 4 when Morgan and Al met, because she didn't want to talk about any of this. And Morgan goes, "Hey, I saved your life. You owe me." And she's like, "What do you want?" And then just like Al said to him, an interview. And there we get to find out like she didn't go with Isabel. Isabel wanted her to go to go save them and then run away with her. But she was scared. She was there's just a bunch of stuff she didn't end up going with. And she knows where Isabel was, but she didn't couldn't go there because she was scared. Like she didn't want to be looking over his shoulder. She was scared to love someone. Like Morgan's like, "Hey, you and John," which John's presence was felt like during this scene. "You and John, when I kept running from people, I didn't want to. I love people. I lose them, and then I lose me." Is some I think it was something like that is what he said. And like he ends up helping Althea figure out like, you need to go after Isabel and you need to go make this right. Like, and because originally she was gonna go out and try to just kill more or something, I guess. I'm not entirely sure if I understood that correctly. But Morgan and gets her to go off and look for Isabel, and basically she knows that she's going to save him because save her because she knows the CRM's going to look for her. They went to the helicopter and they caught the comm. She pretended to be the reclamation team, and she apparently can drive a helicopter, so she's flying there to save Isabel. And she shows up to the house, and at first it seems empty, but then like she sees like the TV's on static, and she hits play on the VCR, and it's her tape that Isabel recorded of her. So it's obvious that Isabel is still thinking of her. And pretty soon Isabel comes up with the gun pointed, and she's like, "Hey, we need to stop meeting like this." And at first, like Isabel's like, "Well, I've made peace with your decision." And she's like, I haven't, and I know you haven't either." It ends up being this thing. Like this is Elle's last season on Fear. I can't help but think she'll turn up in a CRM related project, whether that be the Rick movies, maybe the last 2 episodes of World Beyond. I mean, I doubt it, but maybe. Um, and yeah, it was Al's last episode. But the reason, like the CRM, like she's gonna be back. The Walking Dead don't do this. It might not even be anything directly CRM related, but I just assume with Isabel's ties to the CRM, it would be, and with them potentially having access to a helicopter or two. So I'd be curious, but definitely was the best part of the episode or part of the season so far. I don't know what it does on driving the story forward other than the exit of Althea and like just some more Morgan story, but it was definitely like wasn't Strand related whatsoever in the slightest. So that was a little, but as far as like telling a side story, I did like it because obviously the CRM's the big focus in World Beyond, and we were wondering what's going on with Rick. So any ties to Rick, like yeah, automatically gives it a little boost. You know me? So, anyways, tell me what you guys thought down in the comments below. Yeah, I'm ready for next week. There's only 2 more episodes of this for the mid-season, as well as only 2 more episodes for World Beyond for the series finale. So, we're gonna be walking into a couple months without Walking Dead content, but I'm sure we'll have some stuff we can cover on the channel. Also, I'm thinking about covering, I'm for sure going to cover Boba Fett when that comes out later this year. I'm thinking about covering the Hawkeye series when that starts in a couple weeks. So let me know what you guys think for the people that watch the video. I'm not as super knowledgeable about Marvel as I am like The Walking Dead, especially the comic stuff. But I do really enjoy the cinematic universe, all the shows and movies. They're freaking awesome, as well as Star Wars. I'm actually decently knowledgeable in Star Wars. But yeah, just let me know what you got, what else you guys would like to see as I come up with ideas for while The Walking Dead's on a little break and we're waiting for little news and tidbits and all that. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.